Hey guys, if you like my content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really helps me out. Thanks. Hey guys, this is Esports Money's ESM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to my guide to jungling Venomancer in patch 7.06F. Now, this is a very, very popular hero to jungle, and I actually found it very difficult to jungle him as effectively as I've seen a lot of people jungle him on the Dire side when I was jungling him on the Radiant side. So, normally my videos get a lot of hate for being Radiant only, but this is actually the much harder jungle. If you go over to the Dire Ancient Camp by the Bounty Rune, it's actually really easy to jungle the hero. In fact, you can start killing Ancients at about level 3 because you can kite them indefinitely without getting hit. You can do a similar tactic here, however, I found it to be a little bit sketchy because you're shooting uphill rather than downhill, so you can potentially lose vision of them, and then they'll aggro your wards instead of you, and then you'll just fuck up and die. So, again, prefer doing this on the Dire side. However, I do get about a 6-minute Midas with this build, and it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. A few key things to remember here are you're going to probably want a Quelling Blade. I strongly recommend one because then you have more vision. However, because of the fact that you have the wards in the low ground, you don't necessarily need the Quelling Blade, but again, you're only saving a couple hundred gold. So you might be able to rewind this back to about 5 minutes and 30 seconds if you skip the Quelling Blade and go for the Gloves of Haste first. However, you're also going to be relying heavily on your wards for your damage, more so than your regular right clicks, so because of that, you're not going to be accelerating your farm by getting the gloves early. You're just going to have money sooner. You're not actually going to gain money at an increased rate because of this. Another thing I want to point out is you almost always want to be making wards, but not always. There are a few times where I will hold out on making additional plague wards if I'm about to level up, because I'd like to level up and then put another point into my plague wards before I invest the mana in creating more. I won't hold plague wards if I'm about to level up and it's an even number level, which means at even numbers I'll be getting the passive. As far as build goes, it's very straightforward. You're going to be getting as many points into your plague wards as possible, and then the secondary skill is poison with potentially a value point in your Gale, but remember, Gale does virtually no damage at level 1. It's really just there for the slow. In fact, the reason that was nerfed a very long time ago because of the fact that you could do way too strong of a setup with heroes like Ursa and Juggernaut. So I prefer to actually wait to get my bounty runes when I'm jungling on the Radiant side, because I want to be sure that the creeps are dead, because I don't want to leave and miss out on experience. You're very, like pretty much every single hero in the jungle, you really want levels. Like, levels are what let you jungle faster. They increase the damage and health of your plague wards without affecting the cooldown or the mana cost whatsoever. So that might actually be the nerf for Venomancer that we'll see, is an increased mana cost to his plague wards. So the plan here is we rush Hand of Midas. I think it's always going to be the case that you're going to want to use the Midas on the largest creep possible until you hit level 10, because you're basically rushing to hit level 10, because at level 10 you have a talent that gives you more experience. So generally speaking, I think that's the play. That's always what I do. And then, depending on your playstyle, if you think the game will go long enough, it still can be acceptable to Midas the largest creep possible, because you want to rush to level 25. And this is because at level 25, you have some pretty awesome talents. The one that I personally favor is one that gives your Plague Wards 3 times as much health and 3 times as much damage. This doesn't seem like a big deal, however, if you have, like, let's say 30 or 40 seconds to prepare for a holdout, or high ground holdout, but when I say holdout, I mean high ground defense. If you have a few seconds to plan for a high ground defense, then you'll actually be in a pretty solid spot, because you'll have a whole bunch of wards that are really annoying to kill and do 120 damage, so they do a significant amount of damage, and they also get half of whatever your current level of Plague Ward is, so, or your passive poison. So your Plague Wards will also be slowing the enemy heroes. So the enemy heroes will be taking lots and lots of damage, they'll be slowed the whole time, and it will be very difficult for them to kill your wards. Well, not super difficult, but difficult enough that it typically discourages it, especially because they're magic immune on top of that. So that's how I typically play the hero. I rush a Veil as soon as I have my treads. Veil's very good. It synchronizes really well with your ultimate. Remember, your ultimate is not terminal damage, though, so you need to have either your passive poison or damage from Venomous Gale, because you cannot kill someone with your ultimate. You can only do a massive amount of damage with your ultimate. In other words, you can get down to 1 hit point, but you cannot fall below 1 hit point with your ultimate. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.